Ephesians 3:17-19. That you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with the fullness of God. We pick up where we left off in the second part of verse 17. This verse is in the middle of Paul praying for strength, and here, through prayer, he is giving us a glimpse of what he's experienced from God, and praying we too get to experience this should we choose to follow Jesus. Here Paul is very much focused on love. Not love as we'd maybe associate love, but the love of God, the love of Christ. This is a different kind of love. Paul prays that we should be rooted and grounded in love. You see, the basis of God's love is built on strength, because the strength of his love is so great that he overcame death and defeated sin to counteract our ungodliness, so that we may be right with him should we choose to be. And if we choose to be right with him, the strength of his love will never separate us from him. It's this love that Paul is saying we should be rooted and grounded in. To be rooted in something is to be deeply established. When I hear the word root, I think of roots of a tree. The roots are the foundation of the tree, grounded deep before we could even see the tree. To be rooted in Christ is to be firmly founded in his ways, his thinking, his being. In order for our lives to be fruitful, our cause must be Jesus. Is your cause Jesus? Are you bearing fruit as a result of being rooted and grounded in the love of Christ? You see, this love that Paul is talking about is different. And in order to understand it, we must be rooted and grounded in it, drinking in this love, savouring this love, being totally dependent on this love. In verse 18, Paul says, may have the strength to comprehend. Understanding Christ's love requires strength. It requires strength because it can be unfathomable as to why Jesus died for us in this way. In fact, that's the beauty of this love. That's why it's different. It's so undeserving. His love is free. He laid down his life for you and I. Tell me, where else is love greater displayed? Paul prays for strength in comprehending this love because he knows that Christ loves us more than we'll ever know. Paul is encouraging us to explore this so that we may even catch a glimpse of the breadth and length and height and depth of the love of Christ. Verses 19 says, the love of Christ surpasses knowledge. I believe this is why Paul is praying for strength. Remember, Paul isn't praying for physical strength, but for spiritual strength. And we have a nature to give up when things become hard, or in this case, surpass knowledge. Paul, who we learned about, is a messenger and a minister. Even he is still working out the wonder of this love after so many years of preaching this good news. So he knows the strength that people need to do the same as him. To finish, it's all in verse 19. Having the strength of the Spirit to be rooted and grounded in Christ's love may result in being filled with the fullness of God. Is there anything better in life?